Dina from Fitness Incentive, along with Francesca, my co-worker and fellow instructor. As promised, here we are to give you a live Pilates mat class. So I just wanted to thank everybody for being here. Hopefully people are logging on. I really can't read that without my reading glasses, but I'm going to give a moment or so for people to sign on and join us here. So just hope everybody's doing well, feeling well out there. And just a few things before we begin. That's okay. And give it another moment or two for people to sign on. So before we begin, I just want to say this class is going to be designed, it's probably like 20-30 minute total class. It's going to be designed to be suitable for all levels. So whether you've done Pilates before or not, you can jump in and join us. You can watch us live. If you can't and you're watching us later on, hi, and hi to all of you now and later. So I'm going to give a couple of rules for the class first. So the main thing is to listen to your body first and me second. The suggested breathing for the class is in through the nose and out through the mouth. At any point, if you find yourself holding your breath, just go immediately for an exhale and then start a flow of your inhale and exhale. I see people on the bottom popping up, but I can't read it without my reading glasses, so I just want to say hi to everybody, and as you come up, thank you for joining us. So as I was saying before, whether you have never done Pilates before, you're beginning Pilates, you just came back, or you're a veteran practitioner, this class is designed for all levels. So if I'm going to be cueing more, toward a beginner level, of course, and we'll be showing some modifications as well. Those of you who've been practicing for a while, you know how to make it a little bit more challenging for your skill level. So with that all being said, again, suggested breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. If you are unsure of anything, something doesn't feel right, just stop, take a break. Always listen to your body, okay? Once we get started and you have that connection, if you lose that connection, you go back to where you were before you lost it, just take a break, okay? So my most important thing is police yourself, okay? Follow my cues, but listen to your body first. Take a break anytime you need to. We're gonna go nice and slow. So we're going to begin by sitting up nice and tall, knees bent. Now, for this work today, you're at home, you wanna make sure that you have space enough to just lie your whole body down, and also, if possible, arms width and arms overhead when you're lying down. So as long as you have that much space, you'll be able to do the workout. So we're gonna start with our nice deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Sitting with your knees bent, feet flat. Preferably hip width apart with your knees, which means that your knees line up with your 2-foot hip bones, ankles line up with your knees, or you can judge it by your heels lining up with your sitting bones. We're gonna grab a hold of the legs, right on the inside, fingers to the inside of your shins. And keep your big toes down. So have your knees bent enough so that you can have your feet flat with your toe pads touching the mat. Now again, everybody's foot shape is different, but just try the best you can to keep your toes down. We're going to draw the shoulders down the back ribs. Give some nice deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. We're going to use our arms to lift the spine up. Really lift that rib cage as if your breastplate's going to shine up over your knees. Keep your eyes at horizon level, whether they're open or closed. And try to feel the neck nice and long where your earlobes stay lined up right over your shruggers. So try to keep your ears in the same plane as your shoulders at all times. So the chin pulls back slightly. And use it to lift your body up, shining your breastplate up and forward, drawing your shoulders down your back ribs. Deep breaths. And here we're just going to hang back on our arms, just round your spine like you're slouching. And hold on to those legs. I want you to just hang back. Lots of arms here. Flex your spine all the way through your neck. Tuck your chin, let your shoulders ride up and down. And lots of arms, just pull yourself back up. Try to keep your toes connected to the mat and sit up real tall. Just articulating that spine for a little warm up. Here we go again, just drop back into yourself. Tuck your chin, tuck your tail, hang back and breathe. Lots of arms to bring you back up. Lift up tall, lengthen your spine, extending it just beyond that neutral point. And one more time like that. We're gonna roll back, hang back. Lots of arms just hanging here. I want you to hang here for another few breaths and feel that if you let go of your legs, you would drop back. That's how much arm I want here. And then pull yourself back up with your arms. Good, find that place where you're nice and tall once again. And here, we're gonna lean back in this neutral spine. So let's just make sure we understand what neutral is, where we're not rounding, we're not flexing the spine, we're not arching. We're not tucking, we're dropping. So we want to enhance that natural alignment of the natural curves of our spine in neutral. So that's what we're going to do here. Keep it nice and tall and long, so nice straight line with your spine as you lean back. Now draw your abdominals in, because we're getting ready, and you're going to let go of the right hand. So lift the right arm up, lift the left arm up, and walk your feet a little closer to your body. Let's bring those legs together now. Squeeze your knees together, feet together. Keep your big toes on the floor. Let's lean back behind center. In this neutral spine, try not to drop, try not to pop, pull your belly in, breathe. I want you to start to get those little shakes somewhere. So lean back there, lean back a little bit, breathe, deep breaths. Now use your abs, use your core, use your center to come back up. Once you get there, grab a hold of your legs, use your arms to stretch up tall. Knees together, inhale here. Exhale, lean back of neutral, lean back of center in neutral. Lift one arm, lift the other. Now here, I want you to just tip your pelvis under a little bit. Just roll to the top back of your pelvis. Use your abdominals. Just pull your pelvis into that rear tilt. Try to unshrug your shoulders. Lots of abs. Squeeze those knees together and keep those feet on the floor. Deep breaths. See if you can roll down just a little further, right to that point, right before you feel like you're going to drop. Squeeze your legs together, lift your chest, drop your shoulders. Deep breaths. Now all core to bring you back up. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Once you come up as far as you can on your own, grab a hold and let your hands help you lift up. Deep breaths. One more time. Lean back in neutral. Tip your pelvis under. Don't just drop down into yourself. Try to keep oppositional energy. Your chest lifting. Tip your pelvis. Roll just to the top back of your pelvis. Keep your chest lifted. Keep your breath. See if you have any further. Can you go any further without dropping or popping? Breathe, unshrug. Use your breath. Lots of core to come back up slowly. Get out of your shoulders and lift up tall. Beautiful. We're going to come down to the mat. So what you can do is make sure if you are using a mat at home, move more to the foot end of your mat or the front end of your workspace so that you have space to work, okay? So when you're ready, we can roll down with control like that, test yourself, or just bring yourself down. So, as Granny's doing here, she's gonna keep her feet down. I'm gonna as best as I can using my core, trying not to drop. And when you get down there, stretch out nice and long. Reach your arms overhead, take your long body stretch, wiggle your hips. Deep breaths. We're going to take a nice little feel-good stretch before we begin. So that little warm-up up there was just to kind of articulate, warm up the spine and the pelvis a little bit. I want to explain something before we begin. So neutral spine, as I said before, we want to enhance the natural curves of our spine when we're in neutral. We don't want to flatten them or change them or exaggerate them unless we're intentionally flexing or bending the spine. So just terminology, spinal flexion is when we're bending forward, okay? So a rounded spine is a flex spine. We have lumbar flexion, which is lower back or pelvis, and we have trunk flexion that we'll be doing in this class. And spinal extension is a back arch. When you're lifting your waist off the mat and you're coming into more of a forward tilt and you're extending your spine, you've got neutral. So terminology here is neutral. Okay, so I'm in a neutral spine. And what we want to do is understand rear tilt of the pelvis. That is when you're pulling your hips back. You're pulling your lower back into the mat, so your pubic bone is tipping up and your lower back is pulling down into the mat. Your forward tilt is the opposite, where you're rolling your pelvis forward, where part of your back lifts off the mat. Now, when we're doing this during the class, we want to make sure that we're understanding how to articulate the movement of the spine. So I'd love for you to just find that neutral place when you're ready. Just start in a centered place. We'll just center on the mat. Let's just do one little twist stretch before we get back into that neutral and moving through our exercise. So we're going to hit the feet hip width apart on the mat, and the knees are bent, the feet are flat. We're just going to drop the right leg open to the side, rolling over the outside of the right foot. Keep your feet split and just let the left knee just follow. Just drop it over and just stay right where you land, right there. Beautiful. So I'm going to just get up and give a little stretch here to Franny. So we're going to reach the arms overhead if you have room for it, and at least the left arm. And we want to think of this top leg just pressing down into the bottom leg. Reach this knee, Franny, like you're going to reach it away. So I want that whole lower body reaching away from the upper body. Reaching the hip away from the ribs, reach the knee away from the hip, reach everything away from the armpit. Deep breaths. A little bit the left leg down toward the right leg. Breathe, feel this beautiful stretch. Here's where you can feel that connective tissue from your armpit all the way to your knee. Deep breaths. When you feel ready, you're going to move through center slowly, one knee coming up, back to the flat foot position. Knees hip width apart. And here, we'll take it to the other side. So we're just going to simply drop the left leg open. Let the right follow. Stay where you land for a moment and just reach your arms up. And then just think about maybe tucking your right butt cheek under a little, lifting it up, lift the right hip. Keep your chest and your face centered toward the ceiling. Just press that right knee down toward that left ankle or calf. And stretch the knee away from the hip. Stretch the arm if it feels good. Deep breaths. That feels good, right? All right, bring it back to center when you're ready. So again, let's just find that place of center in your workspace, whether you're using a mat at home or you just have your space defined for you. Just find that center position, and let's find that neutral spine. So, understanding rear tilt, forward tilt. Let's come into neutral. So don't be in a rear tilt, don't be in a forward tilt. Have those feet hip width apart, soles of the feet on the mat. Try to turn off here. So we're going to try to keep the butt turned off for this first little part where we rear tilt and forward tilt. So instead of squeezing your butt and pushing your hips back into that rear tilt where it tends to make us do what I always say, the poop, not the scoop. So we always say do the scoop, not the poop, meaning we don't want to push the belly muscles down and out. We want to draw them in and up. So the abdominal current is always in toward the spine and up toward the sternum. So when we rear tilt, we just want to use the waist muscles. Think about the back of your belly button. And imagine just sinking that into the mat and feel the pelvis just roll back in response to that contraction of your abdominals without squeezing your butt. So don't squeeze and push, scoop and pull, where you're rolling just to the top back of your pelvis. And then use those core muscles to just roll that pelvis right back into that place of neutral. And let's try that again. Try to just draw your abs in, sink your waist into the mat. Try not to squeeze your butt and push from your hips. And slowly return to neutral. Let's go 3 more like that. So we'll have about 5 of these. And back to neutral. And 2 more. Pull, don't push. Keep your legs nice and stable. Keep the connection through the big toe side of your feet. And 1 more there. And return it to neutral. Now let's forward tilt. Let's think about keeping the waist connected and just tip the pelvis forward where you're dipping your pubic bone down between your legs and you feel the lower back and the waist start to lift. But try to keep your head, neck, and shoulders out of this. So I don't want this big kind of floppy, slinky looking thing. I want you to really stay connected, controlled, stabilize through your feet, keep the inner thigh connection here as if you have an item between your knees that you don't want to crush and you don't want to drop. So keep your legs real connected here, roll the pelvis forward, lifting the waist just off the mat. Use the waist energies to draw back in to neutral. Try not to overshoot neutral and rear tilt. Okay, so we really want to identify that neutral so we can get back to it during all of our exercises, in between all of our exercises. And rolling back to that neutral. Forward tilt. Try not to push the belly out. Keep your abs engaged as you're forward tilting. This is not a popping, dropping the pelvis forward thing. Okay, 1 more time. Let's just do 1 more after this one, okay? Scoop the belly in, pulling back just to neutral. Try to keep the butt turned off. Check in with those legs, head, neck, and shoulders. Deep breaths, forward tilt, and pull back in. Okay, so hopefully by now everybody's identified their neutral, okay? One of the things, especially if you're just new to Pilates, you're gonna have to keep checking is that butt. One of my famous lines is check, check, and recheck, because the butt is bully muscles, of the hip flexors and of the bully muscles of the lower back. Try to catch yourself if you're gripping, okay? No grippy, hippie stuff. All right, here we go. So we have that pelvic curl or that lumbar curl. Now we're going to do chest curl or chest lift. This will be trunk flexion. So we're going to keep the hands down alongside the body. Once again, knees are bent, feet are flat. Imagine between your knees. Feel free if you have a yoga block at home or a ball to put that between your knees, okay? We're going to keep the hands down on the mat just to start. Feel your neutral. Take a nice deep breath in. And one more thing. I'm going to breath, and I'm going to say inhale here, exhale here. But whatever breath facilitates the movement for you, that's what you do. Okay? So if you're inhaling when I say exhale, or you're exhaling when I say inhale, don't let that confuse you and distract you from what you're doing. Just keep doing your work, okay? Alrighty, so here we go. First thing is we're going to try to use our waist and our deep abdominals to lift us chest and head and shoulders off the mat while keeping the pelvis neutral. So no tucking that butt. All right, keep your butt put, keep your pelvis where it is. Take an inhale to prepare. Exhale, lifting from the waist. Try to come up into a chest curl. Here you can lift your hands up to about knee height, but try to keep your shoulders from shrugging. Check that pelvis. Look at that pubic bone. See if it's tipping back to you. And if it is, try to fix it. Keep it in neutral. One important thing here when we're doing our chest curl are the eyes, okay? Where your eyes go, your head goes. So try to look right now just at or above your knees. Now keep your eyeballs kind of set in the socket as you pull your belly flat. So this way, as you lower down, your eyes will only see what comes in their path. And at any given time when you're in neutral, your eyes start out on the ceiling in front of you, not up, back, overhead. Okay? Try to keep the earlobes in line with the shoulders. We're going to do a few of those chest curls. You ready? Again, hands anywhere you want. Right, Franny? You can bring them up. You can keep them down. Feel free to put your hands behind your head at any point during these exercises for support, but don't let that give you permission to pull on your head, okay? You still want to keep the alignment of the neck. Neck is part of the spine. Keep it in line with the rest of the spine. Here we go. Inhale, prepare. Keep your pelvis stable. Exhale, scoop and lift, reaching arms or keep them down. Take one more deep breath in your belly. Check that your pelvis is neutral. Check your neck and your eyes. And slowly lower back down, hands to the floor. Inhale here. On the exhale, we're going to come back up into that chest curl. Realign your neck. Watch your eyes. Flat belly. Don't move your pelvis. And bring your hands back down. Let's go for 3 more. Inhale here. Today we'll be doing anywhere between 4 and 8. Maybe if we get 9, maybe 10 repetitions. Alrighty, deep breaths. Inhale, exhale. Check in with your eyes. Make sure you're not letting the eyeballs lead the way. Don't overreach. One more. As we all know, Pilates instructors, we're not the best at counting. Draw your shoulders down, your back ribs, pull your belly flat, and release. Here, come down, reach the arms overhead, and arch that back off the mat for a nice stretch. Here, your pelvis goes into a forward tilt. You could shrug your shoulders a little bit, and use your abs to come back into that neutral position. So we're going to go into a little bit of bridge work here before we get into stomach series variation. Walk your feet back a little closer to your body. What we want when we're in bridging for this version, when you're up in that bridge, I would like your ankles to be just underneath your knee or your heel to be underneath your knee, not tucked up back here where you have a hyperflexion, you cause a lot of cramping, and not too far in front. So once we get up, you can fix that. Okay, so let's come back down and we're going to articulate the spine first, rolling up. Use your breath. Inhale here. Exhale, pull the waist back, tipping your pelvis into that rear tilt. Press into your feet, lift your hips. Lift your waist, lift your ribs. Now when you come up here, try to make sure all your body weight isn't into your neck and shoulders. Lengthen out, send energy out through your knees, and press into your feet. Your feet are the things that are lifting you here, not your butt, okay? So don't grip and push. If you press into your feet, squeeze that imaginary item between your knees. You're gonna feel all the back of your legs and your butt turn on there, okay? So reset the feet as needed. Try to be aligned as best as you can. Okay, and keep the shoulder base nice and wide. It's called shoulder bridge, not neck bridge. Keep your chin in neutral. So let's articulate using the waist. Keep your collarbones wide and roll down one segment of the spine at a time. Upper back, middle back, lower back. Let's just do 3 of these. Pull through the waist, tip the pelvis. Now, as soon as your hips leave the floor, press into your feet. Think of the thighs reaching out past the knees, shins, and toes as you lift the rest of the way up. Straight line with the body in this neutral shoulder bridge and roll back down. Once again, try to keep your shoulders open. Use your breath, keep your legs steady. Imaginary item between your knees. One more like that. All the way up. Stretch the front of the thighs out. Don't let the body weight collect into your neck and throat. And rolling down. Now we're going to do a little bit of work in this. Breathe. Stay here. Get it back to neutral. Let's roll back. Come on up into that bridge. Now here, we're going to roll down just to that lowest rib, okay? So find that breath. Inhale here. Exhale. Roll down just to right before your belly button wants to connect, and let's lift back up. Let's try a little tempo. Let's go down and up. Keep that press through your feet. Don't grip your butt. This isn't thrusting the butt. This is articulating through the spine, pressing through the feet. If you're doing it the way I'm asking you to, your hamstrings are on fire already, yes? Good, and your glutes never let go on this. They don't let go. Top. Stay right here. Just give a little extra squeeze of your sitting bones together and squeeze your knees together. And then open the knees just back to hip width apart. Don't let them go wider than that. Keep your hips lifted by pressing into your feet. Squeeze again and open. Squeeze again. Come on, keep those hips up there. Breathe. Now, every time you squeeze those knees and those sitting bones together, the abs too, tighten up your corset back to front. Draw the navel energy into the spine. Now, on this one, let's hold those knees together. Don't let them come apart and pulse them here. They're together and you're pulsing, pulsing, pulsing. Don't pulse your body up. Don't let those knees come apart. Picture you're holding a dime between them and you're trying to crazy glue your knees to that dime and just press it to that dime. Press, press, press. Anybody feeling this? Yeah? Come on, now hold up there. Press through your feet. Bring your knees just hip width apart. Breathe and slowly roll down, articulating your spine. One segment at a time, shoulders open wide. And when you get down there, just stretch out those legs. And let's bring those legs in toward the chest. Grab a hold behind your thighs and reach your legs straight up to the sky. I know my hamstrings need that stretch right now. Flex and point your feet. I'm just checking the clock over there. See how much time we have left. Really pull in with those legs, but don't let your pelvis tip back. If you let your hips tip back, you're gonna take that away from the hamstrings. So try to forward tilt your pelvis. Lift your waist off the mat, even as you reach your legs up to the sky. Can you feel that? Imagine lifting your waist off the mat and really breathe. Beautiful. All right, shake it all out. We're gonna go for versions of some classical Pilates movements. So we're just gonna do single leg stretch, double leg stretch, single straight leg stretch, double straight leg stretch. Maybe we'll throw in the crisscross, we'll see. Okay, so we ready? All right, so Franny, I'm gonna do classical hand placement. You can just do grab anywhere placement, okay? So people can see that. So if you're not sure of the classical hand placement on the single leg stretch, don't worry about it. We're gonna do singles, and then we'll do doubles. I don't even know how many, because, you know, I'm a Pilates instructor, not great at counting. All right, so find your neutral, and we're going to come up into a chest curl. Flatten your belly, keep your pelvis neutral. We're gonna bring that right leg into a tabletop position, classical hand placement, or just grab it wherever you can, okay? The left foot is gonna lift out, that left leg is gonna stretch out. Let's have that left foot about the height of your face. Don't let it drop lower where it gets stuck in the hip flexor, okay? It could be face height or higher, but try not to be lower. Keep your pelvis stable and think about that midline of your body with the left and right knee. Keep the inner thigh connection. We're gonna breathe, inhale here, exhale, pull this leg in. And whatever breath works for you, you'll switch and switch. You could do one breath for each move or double breath. And try not to let that straightening leg, don't let that foot drop lower than the height of your face, please. Just for today, check in with your shoulders, no shrugging. Glue your waist to the mat. Let's go for double exhale. So inhale here on the right, stay here and pulse for double. Don't move your body, just your legs. Whatever breath you want is fine, no bouncing. Let's do one more set, right and left. Check in with your shoulders, flatten your belly. Make sure you're up in that curl, not a crunchy hunch or a hunchy crunch, and lower down. When you get there, lift your waist off the mat, bring your feet down. Come back into neutral. Double leg stretch is next. Deep breaths. Inhale, exhale. We'll start this one. Stay in neutral spine. Lift the right leg and the left leg to tabletop. Come up into your chest curl, flatten your belly, check in with your eyes. Your eyes stay toward your thighs. Think eyes to thighs or to the knees. Don't follow your hands. Flatten your belly, stay up here, don't move your. Here we go. Inhale, reach arms and legs, arms stop right in front of the ears. And sweep around and come back in. Please don't look at your hands, look at your legs. Inhale, exhale. What breath is working for you? Flatten your belly, don't shrug your shoulders. What do you think, Franny? 3 more?
Yep.
Try not to move your trunk. She's like, don't talk to me, I'm trying to breathe. One more time. Flatten your belly and bring it in. Lower down, take a counter stretch. Beautiful. We're gonna come into single straight leg stretch. So again, pelvis stays neutral, no bouncing. Are we good? Okay, here we go. We're gonna take this, staying in neutral, one leg and then the other. This time we'll extend the legs up to the sky, try to keep your neutral pelvis, and come up into a chest curl. Grab a hold wherever you can on your right leg. As close to the ankle, shin, maybe behind your thigh. Okay, just get the leg as straight as you get it, depending on your body. We're gonna start to lower the left leg. Remember, that foot doesn't go lower than face height. We don't bounce the body stays stable. We're gonna stretch this leg toward your head and switch. Anchor yourself, unshrug your shoulders, keep that inner thigh connection. There's behind the scenes stuff going on here, people, just so you know. No bouncing, pull your belly flat. Maybe your strings and your legs are like this, that's okay. Maybe you're getting here, that's okay. Don't sacrifice the lift or length of your body. Every body is different, right? Okay, bring it in and lower down. Reach overhead. As always, take your counter stretch. Double straight leg stretch is next. We'll do a few more. I'm checking the clock, okay? Let's do double straight leg stretch, the best that you can. Find your breath, neutral spine. When you're ready, tabletop your leg, anchor through your rib cage, deep breaths. No holding the breath. Both legs go up, only as straight as you can get them without tucking your hips back or popping your belly, okay? All right, hands behind the head on this one. You can interlace the fingers, but don't pull on your head. Press your skull into your hands, elbows up to see your upper arms and your peripheral vision. Anchor through your ribs, lift through your belly, and eyes to the thighs, okay? Maybe your feet, but not higher with those eyeballs. Anchor this middle, and slowly lower those legs, only to the point where you don't pop your back or your belly, and don't drop those shoulders. Flat belly, come on, flatten that belly, flatten it, and bring this up. That's it. Get those shoulder blades off the mat, flat belly, legs go down only to the point where you don't pop your belly, back, or ribs, and no swinging those legs. This is one of my other famous sayings, bring them, don't swing them, right? So bring it with control. Let's try 2 more. These are really hard if you're doing them right. Don't allow that belly to pull away from the spine. Don't allow that spine away from the mat. And we'll take it down. And stretch. You feel those? Yeah. I feel it. And I only did like 3. Or maybe 2.5. I don't even know how many I did. All right. So I was going to get into crisscross and whatnot. Come up so we could do a little plot point and straight legs. And then we could just do all fours plank, a little push-up thing. Okay? I had some other stuff in mind, but time flies when you're having fun. So keep calm and do Pilates. Okay? So have some water if you want, whatever you need. Should we do flat point? No, actually, let's just do our half plank and push-ups. What do you think? So we'll do an all 4 core control first. So let's just come into hands and knees here. So for this version for today, I'd like everybody to have their hands a little wider than shoulder width apart, and then in front of your shoulders. What this does is you set up your neutral. It'll give you room if you do happen to shift forward. We don't want a lot of this, okay? So find that neutral spine. We spoke about it before, spoke about it throughout the whole class. So don't be in a flat or round back. Don't be in a hyperextension. Find that neutral as best as you can. Square your shoulders with your hips and turn your elbow points back. Find that place, hips over knees. Deep breaths. Beautiful. Here's your table. We're going to step back into a full plank if you can. When you're ready, keep your hips from moving. Step the right foot back. Press the toe pads into the floor. Press back through your right heel, not the knee. Check your pelvis. And if you can, lift out of your armpits, lift the front body to the back body, and step into your full plank. Try to press through your heels. Don't be forward here. Press back through your heels, not your knees. Pull the front of your thighs to the back of your thighs. Try to align your head all the way to your heels. Deep breaths. Keep a little micro bend in your elbows. Try not to sink. Try not to drop. Breathe. And come to your knees. Sit back for a brief child's pose stretch. Just an extended, open knee child's pose feels good. And we're just going to finish with a modified or half plank push-up to plank. So, half plank or modified plank. Get onto your neutral spine on all fours. From here, open up from the hips and the knees and find that modified half plank. Reset your hands so you're not in your wrists. Align your neck, ears with the shruggers. Here, we're going to bend the elbows, lowering down only as far as you can without dropping. Don't drop. So keep it out of your neck, down, up with the arms. Press your toe pads into the floor, lift into your high plank. Knees come down, down with the arms, up with the arms, up with the legs. Knees down, push up, here. Make sure you don't sink your body, okay? It's called a push-up, not a drop down, right? Stay intact here. Maintain the integrity of your spine and your shoulder girdle. Breathe. Let's do one more because I know the time is up here. Down and up. Open those knees wide. Sit back. Take a stretch. So this is just the first live little video that we brought to you while we're ordered to keep our doors shut. Most importantly, stay healthy, stay happy, and tune in because we're only getting started here, people. Mwah. Message me, call me, all those good things. Stay long and strong. Peace out. Yeah.